Hey, this is your average war gamer back with another video, and today I want to feature a ship that probably a lot of people do not like, especially battleships, because they have almost a miniguns in their turrets. They kind of have like DAKA DAKA guns, which are basically just quite much strong if you know the situation is best for that ship. Of course, it's none other than Worcester, a tier 10 American cruiser. Despite it does have pretty meh armor compared to heavy cruisers. Not kind of meh, because the side armor, the upper belt armor of the Worcester is like not impressive than what you expect from Des Moines or all the other ships. It still works pretty well. The Worcester is a ship that kind of places in that light cruiser area, but it has access to 6 guns, as you can able to see, 6 turrets, and each turret contains 2 guns, and of course in total you can able to lob 12 shells per 4 seconds, which is quite ridiculous because its firepower is absolutely horrendously strong against battleships. Of course, the Worcester comes with tons of tools to deal not only to battleships, they also can deal pretty well against destroyers. Now, it does have a surveillance radar, and since we all know that the surveillance radar changes does not impact Worcester, because Des Moines and all other heavy cruisers out there get 10 kilometer detection of destroyers, Worcester still is somewhere at 9 kilometer. Which of course is kind of balanced, because when we see the Worcester has such a strong guns against destroyers, it's gonna be pretty much ridiculous to deal damage when you will start doing against destroyers. Of course, it does have access to heal, which is normal, and it does have a hydro that is placed into the 4th slot, of course, along with the defensive AA. And of course, Worcester is king of the AA as of now. It used to be Minotaur and Des Moines, but the Worcester has just ridiculous amount of that AA DPM that nobody can match as of now. Of course, I start to realize I had to push towards B and find a spot, a position where Worcester is absolutely strong, which is behind the islands. And look what I started to do. I saw the Alaska and I started to pen his armor, since his armor is around 27 millimeter and 30 millimeters. Notice that that whatever you see, the shadows of the Alaska is basically that 36 millimeter of deck armor. That is the armor that is protecting somehow Alaska from that HE, but not a lot, since his armor is still not enough to deal or protect against the Worcester guns. Now, Harugumo, I spotted he's capping B, so I start to immediately slightly go backwards, since I'm not gonna get detected like this, and I start to fire my HE. Ridiculous amount of firepower that it gives you. It's just ridiculous. Of course, the Harugumo is no exception there, because he also have this ridiculous amount of firepower. But of course, Worcester, if you spec the Worcester with IFHE, then you know what's gonna happen. He's gonna pen 32 millimeter of armor, which is very common around tier 10 battleships. You can pen any cruiser, and of course, Republic, tier 10 battleship Conqueror, you deal damage. Now, the Harugumo, he started to kite away, and he didn't see the map, and what happens at the end that he got beached, which means the Worcester has so ridiculous firepower, that he will ultimately die. And I got my first blood because of that. Notice, the Worcester has hydro that is protecting him from the torpedoes, which just makes him super strong in that regard. DM down square, 13.8 kilometer. I am perfectly in position to take the down square down, because his armor is, for me, it's nothing at this moment. The battleship like Yamato, Montana maybe, Montana doesn't have that strong armor scheme like Yamato, but you still pen the Yamato and even Montana, no matter what. You deal significant damage. You deal damage. That's what this ship is all about. Look at that. If you aim if you aim really well and you know how to deal damage with the Worcester, you can do some ridiculous things in that ship. And that is what the strength of the Worcester. Sitting behind the islands, making sure that the enemies that are pushing will not able to succeed in push. Of course, Des Moines is also strong in that, but Worcester has just insane amount of DPM that is coming out of his turrets. Just makes him even stronger. Yeah. Of course, I need to understand the fact that Alaska does have AP shells that are very strong, and of course, if I got caught broadsided by Alaska, he could punish me. So I just started to realize I had to push behind the island and make sure that I keep my distance. Of course, one more strength that the Worcester has is the amount of shells and amount of arcs that it can produce. As you can able to see, the arcs that you can able to see of the Worcester is just so damn, like, they have so strong curves that they can lob any island no matter what, which just makes it easy to stay behind the islands, right? It's like a mini Atlanta, but it's not a mini Atlanta actually. It's a super buff Atlanta. But of course it's not flamed since it doesn't have smoke. And of course, if a Minotaur division, Kieran division comes into play, well, expect some horrendous situation. I mean, enemy team can't deal with you because you're in smoke. You have Hydra, you have radar, you have heal. You will do ridiculous things with that ship, of course. But you need to have a division, right? Bismarck tried to pushing at A, and look at that. The push that he's trying to be doing to make sure that he pops his secondary somewhat. I mean, the German battleships, I see most of the people try to do that so that they just make their secondaries into play. Most of the time it doesn't work because of this. That push is a bit reckless, and look at the fires. He got 3 fires and now he's gonna die. He doesn't have damage gone. Well, if it does have, he would have used that. And look at that. I start to hit him and panning him all day. Look at the shatters. Of course, it is coming because of that 50mm armor that Bismarck have on the deck. But still, you can deal damage. 19 pens is still good enough to do something, right? And look at that. He's gonna die no matter what. That's what the Worcester is all about. You just stop the push of the battleships and do some severe damage. It's only like 7 minutes. I think I could have a lot much more potential in a Worcester to do, I think, 100k damage by now. But of course, the opportunity, whenever I got some sort of opportunity, I able to deal. Look at the shells. The way they're lobbing over the island is just I mean, what should I say about that? It's just the way Worcester plays. But one thing that you also need to remember, that you need to learn how to hit these far range targets, because it's not easy to aim. It takes considerable amount of time. 13.97 seconds is no joke, which means that you had to lead extremely a lot. But it doesn't mean that you cannot aim and pen him, right? If your aim is right, if you have play and work around the Worcester thing all the way, yeah, maybe you have a chance to do ridiculous damage. Again, the position works pretty well, and I saw the Henry IV pushing. I'm not sure maybe what he's trying to be doing, because push if you can able to see in the minimap, the push is basically pretty much not gonna work, because I don't know what he's thinking. But yeah, now he is looking for other ships, and he's in a bit of a crossfire position, which means that he's also gonna die. That's another mistake that he is doing. And I mean, what can stop me from penning his armor? Look at that, 9 pens, no shatters. The only shatter that I am getting from the Henry IV is because of his turrets. That's it. And I start another fire, and and the shells are just keep lobbing and keeping their DPM, and he eventually dies. I mean, that's a bit reckless push. That's like he's sacrificing his life for nothing. Except he burned down the Amagi. Well, it's still better than nothing, I guess. But of course, the enemy team has taken down some of our ships, and they are kind of trying to getting some comeback. But at the moment, the points doesn't look like that. They have 325 points. We have 677. So basically, it looks like that the win is inevitable. It is looking, so yeah, it's gonna be like that. Notice 4 ships are pushing from that A flank. I mean, so much firepower that you wasted just going around behind the island. It's just not understandable, and that's what costing their game, honestly. Remember, you should I mean, if you do something like this, it's gonna cost you game. But look at that. I think this is the Alaska who just penned my angled armor, kind of angled armor, right? So the booster is squishy ship. Don't get me wrong. You see, I mean, I have like almost full health, and now I am back around 25k, and I'm healing to get to something like 30k maybe. But it's, you know, it's a cruiser. But look at that. 6 pens gearing. They had to fear from this ship. If they come close, they are dead. They are dead. Even though Harugumo does have the firepower, they cannot deal with this ship, no matter what. Of course, torpedoes are a different thing, but Hydro is also there, so they had to keep that in mind. A push like the enemy team is pretty sad, honestly. I mean, they're just pushing and dying, and we are just defending the best way possible. This is what you should not do always in this regard. I mean, you need to understand your positioning and what map control of the allies, or I mean on the enemy team, have. Then you should push if you know you can. But this way, you're just gonna die. That's what Iowa is also facing. He's pushing against 3 or 4 ships, and you expecting to win the game? No, that's not gonna work. Most probably. The amount of firepower that the booster has, sometimes it feels like it's overpowered. And people say it's overpowered, but in my opinion, it's kind of not. It depends. It really depends on the situation, on the game, and how you are behind the islands, and how you use your covers. Anyways, guys, you see, this game is not really a very strong game. It's one-sided game most of the time, because we have left with so many teammates and everybody has did some job. But as you can able to see the team score, I still have 1600 base XP, and even though it's like 103k damage, it's not a lot, but the potential is just double than what this damage, or maybe triple, or maybe quadruple. Depends on how you play this ship. This ship has some extraordinary potential. So having this booster in your team, you're basically protecting them not only from carriers because of this ridiculous AA, you also giving them that ridiculous firepower that if you are behind covers. Anyways, guys, I just want to share my thoughts. I had a feeling that this booster is strong, and of course, grinding that lineup, that light cruiser lineup, is just not bad. Yeah, it works pretty well. But of course, if you show broadsides like I did one time, you see I can also get pretty much dead. A Yamato can just do depth strikes. So that might be the balancing factor. No 30 millimeter armor around that upper belt, maybe. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you like it. I'm gonna catch you into the next one. Peace out.